how much would you take per hour to be in pain for this many hours a day? And you ask that of the average person, the number's not low.
How about pain and suffering? What's the value of that? How do you put a price tag on that?
It's hard. It's really hard. And it depends on a few things. So I find for myself and for juries also, they look at a couple of things. Was it temporary? Meaning, did the client get better? Was this a short-term thing? Was this a long-term thing? Or God forbid, is it an ongoing thing? And if it's ongoing, you kind of have to think about, because of this accident, part of this person's job now, so to speak, part of their life responsibility is to live with this pain. And I've seen different attorneys quantify it in different ways. One way to do it is assume that they now have to deal with this, almost like you have to deal with a job or a task or something. And let's put an hourly rate on it. How much would you take per hour to be in pain for this many hours a day? And you ask that of the average person, the number's not low. It's not minimum wage usually, but that's one way to quantify it. And you'd be surprised with some of these injuries, what numbers you would be getting if you actually sat down and did the math. Did the math for yourself. Anybody who's broken an arm or a bone or something and actually sat there and did the math on how many hours a day they spent in pain and how much someone would have had to pay them to voluntarily do that, number could add up very fast.
Yeah, I've seen in arbitrations, like the defense asking the arbitrator to award $1,000 per month for all of the general damages, which would include like pain and suffering and loss of enjoyment of life and inconvenience and mental and emotional anguish. Everything that's entailed in general damages, defense will say, so-and-so treated for 6 months. Let's give them $6,000 in general damages for $1,000 per month. What do you think about that?
I think that's silly. So you don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to have any experience to have somebody present you with a number saying, and give you a scenario. Let's say you have pain. We use like the 1 to 10 scale, right? Pull a person off the street and say, okay, you're going to have pain about X hours a day. It's not going to be so bad, right? It's going to be 3 out of 10. It's going to disrupt your life like this. These are the things you're not going to be able to do for this long. There's an instinctive number that most people, like you would offer most people, and be like, no, that's not worth it. I think most people, if you pull them off the street, would say that's a lot of inconvenience. That's a lot of pain. That's a lot of disruption for just $1,000 a month for 6 months, $6,000 for all of that. No, thank you.
Yeah.